tropical fish keepers. Welcome to a special episode of Aqua Alex's Top 10 here exclusively on Aqua Alex Live on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. I'm your host, the one and the only South American fish keeper and monster fish hobbyist, Aqua Alex Cardinale. I have an exciting topic in store for you today. You know, I've been in the aquarium hobby for a while now. I first started keeping aquariums at the age of 12, and I am now 28 years old. So that's a while to be in the aquarium hobby. And as I grew up in my teenage years and I grew into adult, the thought of opening up my own fish store always intrigued me. I always wanted to open a tropical fish store, and it would be very, very cool. I think I would enjoy the aquarium hobby more if I opened up a fish store. Of course, it's all a dream right now. Never say never, because anything can happen in this life, as we all are aware of. Anything can happen at a moment's notice. I could win $1 million and I'll be able to open up a fish store. But I've always wanted to open up a fish store since I was about 16 or 17. I always dreamed of opening up a fish store. So maybe in 10 or 20 years, I'll be able to own my own fish store. So today's topic, I am going to focus on owning and operating my own fish store. I would tell you how I would run my own fish store, and I will tell you everything you need to know about my tropical fish store. This is going to be a really fun video, and I think you are going to enjoy it. Now, if you're watching this video, please feel free to comment about you owning a fish store. Let me know everything you would do if you owned your own fish store in the comments. I can't wait to tell you my plans for owning a fish store if I ever do get to own one in the future. So, how would you personally run your own tropical fish store if you had one? What would you name it? What would you sell? Let me know in the comments, and I will react to your comments, and we'll talk about your fish store as well tonight here on Aqua Alex Live. And if you're watching the replay of this video, you can still post in the comments as well. So having said that, let's get started, and we'll start by talking about my fish store if I were to open up one. So let's get started. And I'll tell you what I would name it and all the details first, and then I will talk about the 10 things that would separate my fish store from every other fish store in the neighborhood. So, what I would name my local fish store. I think I would keep my name short and sweet, but also simple enough for people to remember. I would just call it Aqua Alex's Tropical Fish and Aquarium Store. I know that's a pretty basic name, but everyone that shops at my fish store will know about my store and know me personally. So I would name my fish store Aqua Alex's Tropical Fish and Aquarium Store. And I would have freshwater fish, cold water fish, which are goldfish and koi, and I would have saltwater fish and corals. Even though I am not a fan of coral, I know that coral are really popular in the aquarium hobby, so I would make sure that I provided something for every aquarium hobbyist in the aquarium hobby. So I would have freshwater fish for the freshwater lovers. I'd have goldfish and koi for those that love cold water fish. I would have a whole bunch of different saltwater fish for those that love saltwater. I would have corals, and saltwater inverts, things like that. So I would have all that, plus I would have a plethora of aquariums ranging from all different sizes, from 5 gallons all the way up to about 220 gallons or more. That way, there's a range of aquarium sizes for everyone out there, whether someone's looking for a 20-gallon aquarium or a 55-gallon or a 75 or a larger aquarium. There is a tank for everybody. Now, when I go to local fish stores and I look for aquariums, basically all I see are the common sizes, which would be the 55s, the 75s, the 40-gallon breeders, 20 longs, etc. But in my fish store, I would have sizes for everybody. Those that keep monster fish, those that keep nano fish, tanks that are designed for frags, etc. That is how I would differentiate myself from other fish stores, or at least one way I would do that. So I would sell Aqueon tanks. Aqueon tanks, in my personal opinion, are the best aquariums on the market. I think Aqueon tanks are the best aquariums available right now. But I would also have marine land aquariums and other aquariums that are out there, like custom aquariums as well. And then I would have the best aquarium brands like Aqueon, Seachem, Fluval, Marine Land, etc. I'd have the best fish foods, all that good stuff. And the last thing would have to be I would open up my fish store at a very prime location, a location that gets a lot of foot foot action and a lot of visitors every day. I personally would try my damnest and my hardest to get my fish store opened up inside a shopping mall or a giant mall in general. Why a mall? Well, think about it. Malls have thousands of visitors each and every day, especially during the busiest times of the year. They have a lot of visitors on Easter, Valentine's Day, Black Friday, and Christmas. So all those people are shopping in the mall and they come across a tropical fish and aquarium store. They're guaranteed to get a lot of foot volume and a lot of traffic in your store, and people are going to check out your aquariums, they're going to check out your fish, and they're going to get hooked on tropical fish from an actual fish store and not a pet store like Petco or PetSmart. We all know that Petco and PetSmart, they really don't know much about the animals that they sell. So they can give a lot of misleading information and they can trick their customers. But for an actual aquarist owned fish store, I think I would do very well in a mall. And that would be very fun because I would meet a lot of new people. Mostly, I probably would meet a lot of beginners in the aquarium hobby, but that would be fun for me because then I can tell them how fun the aquarium hobby is, how rewarding it is to watch your fish grow and thrive. And it would be fun to bring a lot of new people into the aquarium hobby. Now, when I lived in Massachusetts, there is a fish store that is actually in the Eastfield Mall called School of Fish Inc. that is run by a guy named Dave. Uh, my dad and I have been shopping with Dave for years when we lived in Mass, and he's doing great with his fish store in Mass. So I use Dave as an example as how a fish store in a mall would thrive. I personally would like to open up in the Palm Beach Gardens Mall or one of the malls up here in Palm Beach County in southern Florida. And I think it would be great to have a fish shop up here because I would replace predatory fins with the aspect of monster fish, but as well, not just monster fish, but saltwater, bread and butter fish, and everything that a fish store should have. I don't think a fish store should just focus on one aspect of the hobby, like monster fish. I think a fish store in general should focus on all the aspects so that you can please everybody. So that is the information on the fish store that I would open. It would be called Aqua Alex's Tropical Fish and Aquarium Store. It would be in a mall with a lot of traffic, so there'd be more people coming in. And I would have freshwater, saltwater, and pond fish. I'd have aquariums, supplies, and fish foods. Now let's talk about the 10 things that would separate my fish store from other fish stores in the area and from PetSmart and Petco. So coming in at number 10, this is something that I saw at a fish store and a pet store in Massachusetts when I was living in Massachusetts. And I really liked the idea. I really enjoyed it and I thought it was great. And I would put it to use at my fish store. It is something that I call the buy three fish, get one free promotion. Think about it. Everybody loves a buy one, get one free promotion, and you see that a lot at local grocery stores and other stores. But is there really a buy one, get one free promotion at locally owned tropical fish stores? No. A lot of fish stores don't have the guts to do that because they think they're going to lose out in the end. I think the opposite way. I think by offering fish keepers the initiative of getting 4 fish instead of 3 would compel them into coming in and buying more and spending more money at your local fish store. And my buy 3 fish, get 1 free would go for just about any fish, rare, bread and butter, common, or exotic. Every fish in the store would be buy 3, get 1 free, with the exception of some saltwater fish species. We all know that saltwater fish species are a lot more fragile and delicate than freshwater. And for the ones that are going to cost me hundreds of dollars to bring in, I cannot offer them in a buy 3 fish, get 1 free promotion. But 95% of the fish that I would carry would be available under the buy 3 fish, get 1 free promotion. And I think that would drive a lot of people into my fish store. So let's say you want to buy neon tetras, you buy 3, you end up getting 1 for free. If you buy 6, you get a 7th one. If you buy 9, you get a 10th one. So it's a great way to get people into buying schooling fish as well, or other fish in general. It doesn't have to be the same species. Someone could buy an Oscar, a Jack Dempsey, and a green carrot, for example, and they can get a catfish for free if they want. So I think it's a great sales gimmick to do in a fish store, provided that the people buying the fish have the proper aquarium sizes. So up next, the next thing that would separate me from other fish stores would be that I would be very selective in hiring my employees. That's right. I would be very selective. I would have to interview each one. I'd have to find out how knowledgeable they are in the aquarium hobby. So I would only hire knowledgeable employees, people that have been keeping fish for a long time, and people that know their stuff about aquariums and aquarium fish would be hired at my fish store. So I would hire people that were knowledgeable in freshwater. I would hire people that are knowledgeable in monster fish. I would hire people knowledgeable in frags. I'd hire people knowledgeable in cold water fish and salt water. That way, when customers are coming in, and because I would be in a mall and there would be possibly new fish keepers, if these people have questions, they can rely on the answers from my knowledgeable employees and myself. I think if a lot more of these fish stores and pet stores had people that actually knew about aquariums and aquarium supplies and tropical fish, then there probably would not be a lot of misinformation out there. So I would do my part to have knowledgeable employees at my fish store. The next thing I would do that would separate me from other fish stores is I would have a whole section of display aquariums where the fish in those aquariums would not be for sale. They would show potential customers the beauty of these fish, how big they get, etc. So I would have a monster fish display. It probably would be about 1,000 gallons or more, and it would have some monster fish in there, maybe some datnoids, a silver arowana, or an albino silver arowana, some vulture cats, some of the more manageable monsters to keep in the aquarium hobby. Like an arowana could be manageable in a 1,000-gallon aquarium. A smaller species of peacock bass, datnoids, vulture cats, Oscars, Mylius silver dollars, things like that. Flagtails and tinfoil barbs would be in there. That would be my monster fish display aquarium. And then I would have a planted display aquarium, which would probably be about 500 gallons or so. And I would have live plants, substrate, neon tetras, cardinal tetras, rummy nose tetras, epistogrammas, wild angelfish, and wild discus. That would look great. That would get a lot of people to go over there and check out that aquarium. And then obviously I'd have a saltwater display tank, a frag display, and a goldfish pond as a display as well. I was doing the research the other day, and I found that pet stores and fish stores that have display aquariums with fish that are not for sale tend to do a lot better. And that is because people see the beauty of these species that you're selling. So let's say, for example, in my monster display, I have a foot-long albino arowana, and I've got several baby albino silver, excuse me, sorry about that. And I've got several baby albino silver arowana swimming around in my fish store. If people see that foot-long, gorgeous, majestic albino arowana, they're going to say, wow, I could grow an albino arowana up like that myself. I want one. And they end up buying that baby. They end up buying that baby albino silver arowana with the hopes of it growing into that monster that they see in my monster fish display. I think more than anything, having a display aquarium in a fish store gives you kind of a sense of how much you love the aquarium hobby as well, because you also have a tank you can look at every day while you're taking orders of fish and supplies, while you're handling customers, all that good stuff. I think it would be really fun. So I definitely would have some display aquariums. Next thing I would do is I would accept trade-ins, and I would give fair credit. So I think one of the things that most fish stores should do is start taking in trade-ins. Start taking in people's fish that they no longer want, or fish that are too aggressive for them, or fish that have grown too large for their aquarium. Some fish keepers love to trade in with their local fish store because then they can get fish food or other new fish. And I think it's always great to keep that line of communication open and that line of hobbyist and hobbyist together. Because after all, I would be an aquarium hobbyist owned store, and I like to do trades from time to time. So I would be more than happy to take trade-ins, and I would give fair credit. I know how much large fish species cost, and each fish species cost, and I would give a fair credit amount. For example, if someone brought me a Temensis peacock bass behind me, I know that most Temensis at that size can go for anywhere from $80 to $140. I probably would give about $75 store credit. And then I could turn around and sell it for double that. At least that customer that got the $75 store credit will be happy, because then he could use that $75 store credit to get another fish or whatever he wanted with that store credit. Now, I know there are some fish stores out there that do give a decent amount of credit, and there are some that will even give you what you want. There are others out there that will just take your fish and not give you anything in return, and I don't think that is fair, in my personal opinion. But the way I would run things at my particular fish store, if I owned one, everybody would get fair credit. Now, I'm sure there's going to be times where my store is overrun with large Oscars and Pacu and common plecos and red tail cats, and there might be times where I would have to say, unfortunately, I can't take any trade-ins at the moment. But I would always leave it open because you never know when you're going to sell a large Oscar, and you can take that person's large trade-in as well. But definitely, I think more fish stores definitely should look into the route of trade-ins, because there are going to be aquarium hobbyists that come into fish stores looking for a large fish. And you can't always special order a large Oscar or a large chocolate cichlid, and that's why you have to rely on trade-ins. All right. The next thing that I would do that would separate myself from other fish stores is that I would have different types of fish available each and every week. I would make sure that there was rare fish in stock daily. I'd make sure I'd have the common bread and butter fish as well, and then some exotic fish that you rarely see in the hobby, I'll try to have as well. So on the freshwater side, I'd make sure to have arowanas, whether it be the silvers, the jardinis, the blacks, etc., Africans. I'd make sure to have datnoids. Datnoids are a really cool monster fish staple. I'd make sure to have polypterus, bikers. They're pretty cool, and they're very popular in South Florida and all over the United States of America as well. South and Central American cichlids, African cichlids, Placostomus, Corodora, and larger growing catfish, tetras, cherisins, live bearers, etc. You get the picture. And for the rarer cichlids, I'd make sure to have a pistogramma, discus, angelfish, and everything you can imagine. Now, for saltwater, I'd make sure to carry the common clownfish like the Osiris and the Procula, and wild caught clownfish. The glow striped maroons are my favorite. I'd have tangs, rabbitfish, puffers, triggers, eels. You get it. I have a lot of rare fish and common fish as well. So if you're heading into my fish store looking for a specific rare or common fish, chances are I would have it. And if I didn't, I could get it for you. Now, I'm not sure how much or how many times fish stores order, but I would try at least to get at least one order of saltwater and freshwater fish per week at my fish store. That way, there's always a constant variety of new fish available to each aquarium hobbyist. Up next, we have the most important thing I can think of when it comes to fish stores selling live fish. And I don't think enough fish stores are doing this. And it is my fish that would be on my sales floors would be quarantined before being placed in a sale aquarium. So I would have a backspace where all my freshwater and saltwater fish and livestock goes for quarantine for at least a couple of days. And then they can be moved out to the sales floor. I mean, if you're going to have a whole plethora of fish coming in, then at least you can dose them with medications and make sure they're eating before they hit the sales floor. Now, if I could not have a backspace to do that, well, then I probably would need to medicate the sales space, the sales tank, the sales floor tanks, and monitor the fish before I sell them to make sure that they're eating well and they don't have any parasites or anything. But overall, what I would need to make sure that I do is that I buy from reputable suppliers, people that I know quarantine their fish and take care of them, and I hand pick every fish that comes to my fish store. That is one of the most important things when it comes to owning a fish store, is that you actually need to be able to inspect and hand pick every fish that you get. Now, I'm not going to go out and handpick every Cardinal or Neon Tetra. I'm talking about the fish that are going to cost a lot of money because we want to make sure that our customers are getting high quality fish. So that would be the fifth thing that I did if I owned my own fish store. All right. So I think right now is the perfect time to take our quick commercial. And our commercial is being brought to us by my good friend, Jeremy Stellhorn of Little Egypt Aquarium Club. Now, Little Egypt Aquarium Club is a small aquarium business that was founded by Jeremy Stellhorn with the hopes of providing aquarium hobbyists with some quality aquarium supplies such as driftwood, sponge filters, and fish food. Jeremy sells Rapashi aquarium foods, which are one of the top fish food gels on the market. So check out littleegyptaquariumclub.com, and in this following commercial, find out how you can save 10% using my coupon code. We'll be right back, and when we come back, we'll continue this conversation on how I would run my tropical fish store if I owned one, and how I would be different than other tropical fish stores. We'll be right back, folks.
The following message is brought to you by Jeremy Stellhorn and Little Egypt Aquarium Club. Get our awesome aquarium products and find out how to save 10% using coupon code ALEX.
Hello, I am Brandy Cardinale the Beagle. I'm here to introduce Aqua Alex, and he has a special message. He's going to tell you a place where to get high-quality aquarium supplies and how to save 10%.
Hey everybody, Aqua Alex Cardinale here. I've got a very special announcement for you. My buddy Jeremy Stellhorn has an online business called Little Egypt Aquarium Club that specializes in aquarium supplies such as driftwood and Succo Cave and also tropical fish food. Little Egypt Aquarium Club provides aquarium hobbyists with the specialized tropical fish food and aquarium supplies. I personally recommend Rapashi tropical fish food. Little Egypt Aquarium Club has plenty of Rapashi. You can find Rapashi Community Plus for all your community fish, and you can even find Rapashi Morningwood for your royal plecos and your Panacu plecos that need wood in their diet. LittleEgyptAquariumClub.com, your home for all sorts of aquarium supplies and tropical fish food. Be like Aqua Alex and purchase Rapashi for your aquarium fish. I have predatory fish, and even they themselves love Rapashi. And get this, I, Aqua Alex Cardinale, love saving money when I buy quality aquarium products. I'm here to help you save money. So when you purchase from LittleEgyptAquariumClub.com, I'm going to give you a discount code so that you can save 10%. All you need to do at checkout is use coupon code ALEX to save 10% on your order. That's right, to save 10% on your order, just use coupon code ALEX. LittleEgyptAquariumClub.com. Every purchase helps Aqua Alex, and it'll help you as well. So go to LittleEgyptAquariumClub.com, place an order, and use the coupon code ALEX to get 10% off. Now, back to the Tropical Fish Chat. All right, welcome back to a special episode of Aqua Alex's Top 10 here on Aqua Alex Live. So far, we are talking about how I would run my own tropical fish store if I had one, and we've had a blast talking about it so far. I've got 4 more things to discuss about how my tropical fish store would be different than other tropical fish stores in the area that I would operate my tropical fish store. And if you're just tuning in now, let me know in the comments how you would run your tropical fish store. What would you name your tropical fish store, etc. I would love to hear how your tropical fish store would be different from the fish stores in your area. And if you're watching the replay of today's video, you can post that in the comments as well. So let's get right back into our topic here. So the next thing that would separate my fish store from other fish stores is something I would call curbside pickup. And I know that this has become popular in the COVID-19 pandemic, and a lot of stores are offering curbside pickup, but I would offer curbside pickup permanently because I know there's going to be times when my customers are going to be extremely busy. There's going to be a lot of people that have families and they don't have time to run into a store to pick up fish food or feeders or whatever it is that they need. So I could always have an employee meet them outside with the stuff that they want, whether it be fish food or prime or aquarium conditioners, filters, or even live fish. Let's say they want to buy an Oscar, but they don't have time to come inside and look. I can meet them outside and give them a curbside pickup, and or they can call in and say, "Hey, give me the biggest Oscar," or I can shoot them images on Facebook Messenger, and then they can come pick up a fish and have it bagged up and ready for them to go. I think curbside pickup would be great benefit to give aquarium hobbyists who are working every day, but they know they have to buy fish food. I think this is a great way for them to enjoy the aquarium hobby and my fish store that much more. Up next would be I would only stock, and I talked about this earlier, but I would only stock the best aquarium supply brands. And in my opinion, some of the best aquarium supply brands would be Aqueon. Aqueon make the best aquariums. I have never ever had any issues with Aqueon aquariums. Never ever did an Aqueon aquarium leak for me. The only leaky aquariums that I had were from an old aquarium company that is no longer in existence called All Glass Aquariums. And yes, Aqueon did pick up that company, but it is not Aqueon. And Marineland. I've had several Marineland aquariums leak and crack on me. Granted, one of them was an older aquarium, but still, I don't trust Marineland aquariums. So for personal preference, I would only stock Aqueon aquariums and occasional Marineland aquariums for those that are looking to save a few dollars. Because I do believe the Marineland aquariums are a little bit cheaper than the Aqueon aquariums. Now for filters, I don't think Aqueon hang on the backs are the greatest or the best, but they are affordable. So I would stock Aqueon filters for those that are on a budget. But I would definitely offer C-Chem Tidal hang on the back filters. They are amazing and one of my personal favorite hang on the back filters. They're just a little bit costly. And Marineland has some good hang on the back filters as well. Of course, I would have canister filters. You can't beat a Fluval FX6 or a Fluval FX4. Those are some of the best canister filters on the market, so I would make sure to have them in my store as well. And we all know that there's a plethora of different fish foods out there and aquarium water conditioners, all that are good. So I would make sure to stock the best aquarium supplies that I can, because if you're selling aquarium supplies and someone thinks that an aquarium supply that they bought from you is mediocre or not what it should be, then that person's going to look back at where they purchased that product from. So then that review goes to you, because then that person can go to Google and say, I bought Tetra fish flakes from Aqua Alex's Tropical Fish and Aquarium Store, and it made my water cloudy. then people are going to think, well, Aqua Alex sold that person Tetra fish flakes. Why wouldn't he encourage that customer to buy a better brand? So that's why I would personally sell the best aquarium supply brands on the market. All right, moving along. Something that most locally owned aquarium fish store businesses don't do is monthly specials. You know how other stores like grocery stores, gas stations, restaurants, etc., have monthly specials? I would somehow incorporate that in my fish store business. Maybe you could have a monthly special on an aquarium kit that includes the aquarium, the stand, the light, the lid, a filter, and everything needed to run an aquarium, and have a certain price that's a monthly special for that aquarium. Maybe have some monthly specials on tropical fish and monthly specials on fish food. I think that would be one great way to encourage more people coming into your store, and also encouraging that your customers are getting good deals, and that will keep them coming back wanting more and more, and they'd be interested to see what your next monthly special is going to be. I think a monthly special and the buy three get one free promotion that I mentioned earlier would be a great way that I would have a recurring customer base. People would come into my store for the first time, they would get hooked, and then they would become loyal customers. And really, what you're after is loyal customers. It pretty much is the same thing as being a YouTuber. I love my new subscribers and everybody that watches my video, but a majority of the people that make me who I am are my loyal audience and my loyal base. So the same thing could be said at a fish store. I would try and do everything I can to retain that loyal audience as well as bring in new people and make sure they became loyal as well. And one way to do that would be the buy three fish, get one free promotion that I would do, and the monthly special. So I think the monthly special would be awesome in the tropical fish store. And the last thing that I would do that would separate my fish store from other fish stores is an idea from an old personal friend of mine that ran a couple of fish stores. So I'm going to borrow that idea from him. But he never did it successfully. I would make sure that it would work out properly. And I was being misused by this guy because I was the one that ended up having to do all the work for the care guides, and I got nothing in return for it. But in my fish store, I would have species care guides all throughout the aquariums with every fish. So if one of my sale aquariums had Oscars and silver dollars and plecos, I would have Oscar care guide, silver dollar care guide, and a pleco care guide so that potential customers and people that buy those fish know how to care for an Oscar, a silver dollar, and a pleco, for example, and they know how big that those fish get so that they don't make the crucial mistake that a lot of fish keepers make in buying a fish that outgrows their aquarium, and then they're stuck with it, and then they end up releasing it in their waterways, or they end up killing it or something. That would probably help a lot of fish keepers, especially first-time fish keepers. So I would make sure that there are species care guides and aquarium info posted in the store, and I would give them flyers available to take home and read, so that number one, they're learning a lot about fish from my store. Number two, they're probably going to be very successful by shopping at my store because they get knowledgeable information and they've got stuff to research at home after I give them paperwork and stuff. So if they were a first time fish keeper, never having an aquarium before, then I would give them like a pamphlet on how to become an aquarium hobbyist and how to take care of fish, explain the nitrogen cycle, cycling an aquarium, the proper water parameters, how to do water changes, etc. I think that would be a great benefit for the aquarium hobby. All right, and that is our topic for today. I had a great time talking about how I would run my very own tropical fish store if I had one. So hopefully in the future, I'll be able to have a tropical fish store. Definitely not now. The way things are going financially for me, it probably would be 10, 15, 20 years before I could open up a fish store. But you never say never. You never know what could happen. So never say never in this world. But definitely it is my goal one day to maybe open up a fish store either online or a retail location. But I think it would be pretty awesome and pretty darn cool. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up, smash that like button, and post how you would run your own fish store in the comments below. I think that would be awesome to find out how fish keepers would run their own aquarium shop. So before I end today's video, I do have a couple of announcements to make. And I talked about this on Sundays, this past Sunday's Fish Keepers Q&A. But my most successful aquarium podcast is coming back. Aquatic Wetline Fish Keepers Roundtable is coming back on Tuesday, April 26, 2022 at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. It is going to be hosted by me, Aqua Alex Cardinale, and my co-host, Steve from Steve's Aquatics. And each month we're going to have a couple of guests on the show. And the debut of Aquatic Wetline Fish Keepers Roundtable here on Aqua Alex Live on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale, is going to feature special guest James Anthony, who breeds South and Central American cichlids. And our topic is going to be on a beginner in the aquarium hobby. We'll talk about how we got into the aquarium hobby, our favorite fish, our message to beginners, and a lot more. So don't miss the return of what made me successful, Aquatic Wetline, on Tuesday, April 26th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And don't forget, the April 2022 Fish Keepers Q&A is going to air right after Aquatic Wetline, the day after Aquatic Wetline. So email your fish keeping questions and pictures and photos and videos of your fish and aquariums to alexgoyankiescardinale19 at gmail.com for the April 2022 Fish Keepers Q&A. So once again, get those questions into my email and show off your fish and your aquariums by sending in your photos and videos to alexgoyankiescardinale19 at gmail.com for the April 2022 Fish Keepers Q&A. The April 2022 Fish Keepers Q&A will air live to Wednesday, April 27th, 2022, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, only on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. I'm Aqua Alex, and you've been watching a special edition of Aqua Alex Live. I talked about how I would own my own tropical fish store. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Aqua Alex Live. Stay tuned for more episodes of Aqua Alex Live. Feed your fish a high-quality diet, do your water changes, and your fish will be happy and healthy, and they will thank you. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day, folks. Hey, fish keepers, you know who I am. I'm Aqua Alex Cardinale, and I made my name on a podcast known as Aquatic Wetline, my most successful podcast that I ever hosted, and perhaps the most successful aquarium podcast out there, past or present. If you've never heard of Aquatic Wetline, just do a Google research and you will see all the amazing episodes that I have hosted. But today I'm excited and honored to tell you that Aquatic Wetline is making a comeback. Aquatic Wetline is coming back bigger, bolder, and better than ever. And Aquatic Wetline will be hosted right here on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. It will be a video podcast. That's right. Aquatic Wetline will be coming back as a video podcast. Now, Aquatic Wetline is coming back in a whole new platform and a whole new experience. Aquatic Wetline is coming back as a Fish Keepers Roundtable, which means there will be multiple fish keepers on the show discussing a wide range of topics. There's going to be 2 hosts and a fish keeper or multiple fish keeping guests. Aquatic Wetline Fish Keepers Roundtable is going to be hosted by me, Aqua Alex Cardinale, and one of my most loyalist subscribers, one of my most loyal audience members, a man that's been listening to Aquatic Wetline since its existence and has been following my YouTube channel, Steve's Aquatics. So Aquatic Wetline Fish Keepers Roundtable will be hosted by Aqua Alex and Steve's Aquatics. And there will be special guest fish keepers each month. It's going to be a monthly series. Aquatic Wetline Fish Keepers Roundtable will debut on Tuesday, April 26th, 2022, live at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. Our inaugural guest is going to be fish keeper James Anthony. Now, James and I have been friends for numerous years, all throughout my aquarium hobby. James is a great guy. He specializes in Central and South American cichlids and aggressive fish, just like I do. This is going to be the first time that I have James on my aquarium podcast, and I look forward to speaking about tropical fish with James, and I look forward to having a co-host on Aquatic Wetline for the first time in a long time. The topics for the April 2022 Fish Keepers Roundtable for Aquatic Wetline include how James, Steve, and I entered the aquarium hobby, what we have learned over the years. We'll discuss our mistakes and our successes. We'll give our advice to beginners. We'll discuss our favorite fish species and more. So make sure you guys mark your calendars. Aquatic Wetline Fish Keepers Roundtable debuts on my YouTube channel Tuesday, April 26th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And again, it is live on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale, Tuesday, April 26th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Aquatic Wetline is back. Happy Easter from me, Easter Bunny Alex Cardinale. I, Easter Bunny Alex Cardinale, will be hosting the inaugural Easter 2022 Bash, which will be airing right here on this YouTube channel, Saturday, April 16th, 2022 at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Just one day before Easter, join me, Easter Bunny Alex Cardinale, for a special Easter Bash. The very first one to be hosted by Easter Bunny Alex Cardinale. Easter Bunny is proud to announce there will be Easter appearances by Aqua Alex Cardinale and Chef Alex Cardinale. Chef Alex is going to make one of my favorite treats. Chef Alex will show you how to make honey roasted carrots, and he will make one awesome Easter dessert, and Chef Alex will give tips for hosting a delicious Easter dinner. Now, I'm a bunny, but I love tropical fish. So I've called upon Aqua Alex to be on the Easter 2022 Bash. Aqua Alex will discuss Easter-themed aquarium fish, and he will discuss the saltwater rabbit fish, aka fox faces, and the spotted rabbit fish. And Aqua Alex will discuss treats that I could give your fish as Easter Bunny Alex Cardinale. Now, I, Easter Bunny Alex Cardinale, will discuss my favorite Easter memories. I will have a message for people of all ages. I'll discuss the true meaning of Easter, and I may enjoy some Easter candy with all of you. It's going to be a fun time. Legendary Alex Cardinale is going to join me to paint some Easter eggs. So what will we paint the Easter eggs? You got to tune in to find out. Happy Easter, everybody. I hope you enjoy the Easter season, and most importantly, I hope you'll tune in to the Easter 2022 Bash, live Saturday, April 16th, 2022, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, exclusively on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. Happy Easter, and go get those Easter candies.